Today on the Bass Channel, we're checking out the super steps from Labella. Okay, so right off the bat, these are relatively unconventional and untraditional type of strings. I haven't committed some of this to memory, but these are the Super Steps 45 to 105 ultra-responsive exposed core stainless steel bass string. Now basically what that means is, as you've probably seen on certain brands who do low B, there's a taper to where the part that sits on the saddle is not the same diameter as what you're ultimately playing. These strings carry that concept and that approach through every single string. So relatively inconsequential, we're testing these strings out on the new Rex Brown's signature Gibson Thunderbird, and of course these strings boast having more harmonic content and more of a lead sensibility into their approach on tone, so I just thought that the active pickup would help better push those high harmonics. So just in case you're unfamiliar with the super steps, this is what Labella has to say. Over the past 2 decades, the electric bass has shifted from the rhythm section to the center stage as bassists have assumed the soloist role. Company president Richard Mari Cocco Jr. has worked closely with many of these world-renowned bass players to develop the unique design of super steps. This product line has an exposed core at the bridge which brings out the high overtone content of each note. This design maintains an exceptionally quick response with a clear, distinct sound. So in short, these are stainless steel round-wound strings with exposed core and step windings. The tension is standard at a 45 to 105 gauge, and they're made in the USA with American wire. All of Labella's standard bass sets are long scale with 37 inches from the ball end to the silk. Okay, so you've heard the tech specs, you've heard a handful of sound samples of me playing them. All that's left to do is tell you what I thought. As you've probably heard me say over the last 7 years, I'm a big fan of Elixir. It's not so much a preference thing, which it is, they do sound great. It's more of a necessity to where I have highly acidic and corrosive sweat. So if I play a regular uncoated set of nickel strings for 45 minutes under the right conditions where I get a little sweaty, I kill them. It's less about the dirt and it's more about me just tarnishing the nickel to where no amount of boiling is gonna bring those things back to life. So therefore, I've always kind of just stayed away from anything uncoated and just knew that I have to go with Elixir if I want to get any more than 45 minutes out of a set of strings. However, I've been experimenting and playing with different Labella sets recently. Chuck, I know, has a good relationship with a couple of people over there. In turn, I'm starting to get a good relationship with a couple of people over there, and they were nice enough to send a handful of sets for me to check out. I opted for these super steps because it's really unlike anything I've ever seen outside of some companies doing it on their B string, but as far as companies doing it E to G, I've never really seen it, so of course I was intrigued. Now, let's start with the positives. These strings claim to have higher harmonic content and more of a center stage soloist type of sound. And in my experience, granted I was using an active bass, but there was no shortage of harmonics. Those strings were zingy, they were bright, in your face, you used them with distortion, all of those high overtones were present. I even used them with fuzz, where I hit like a minor second harmonic on the G and D string. It was all there. They sounded great. And of course, as you guys know, as I've talked about on and off over the last couple years, I'm a big fan of just new innovations. I love and appreciate people just trying something different, out of the norm. Why stick to the tried and true when we can shake things up and try something else and maybe it'll be better? And I think in this case, I don't know if it's as black and white, cut and dry as better or worse. I think it's just different. So that leads us on to some of the negatives. The things that, to be fair, I guess expected, is I had to raise the action on the saddles quite a bit, because as you can imagine, if it's resting on the core and then the diameter gets thicker as it goes along, you're gonna need to raise the bridge to accommodate for the extra diameter so you don't get fret buzz. So I had to raise those saddles a little bit more than I was ready for, but once I got them to where the A string stopped buzzing on the frets, they sounded and felt pretty good. I say pretty good because just for my preference, I don't have a lot of experience with stainless steel, and I think they were a little more stiff and a little more grippy than I was ready for. I noticed that once I got them set up to a pretty good action and height off the fretboard, it felt a little difficult for me to play, and I was just playing riffs of songs that I knew and just simple little things. It would take me a little while to practice doing some kind of a solo, just because I wasn't quite ready for how grippy they were. I understand the necessity of needing them to be stainless steel to push those high harmonics and all that sort of thing. So I would say that maybe don't take my criticism that much to heart. If you're already a stainless steel player and you play labellas or D'Addarios or what have you, stainless steel strings, then you're already used to that feel, so that's not gonna phase you. You're just gonna have to raise your saddles up a little higher. If you're not used to stainless steel and you're more of a nickel player and you want to try these because they're innovative and cool and unique and different, just know that they're stiff and they're a little sticky. Is that a deal breaker? No, that's just something you got to get used to. So if you're after more high-end harmonic, more, just top-end clarity in general, all of the benefits that these strings have to offer, those are just minor hurdles that probably after a day or two, you're not even going to notice it anymore. So all in all, I love the innovative design. I love that it's something different. I love that it's not Ernie Ball. I didn't say that. And they're really good. They're just not for me because I like a little bit of a smoother feel. Maybe that's just because I've babied my fingers over the last 2 decades with the strings that I typically use. But outside of a preference thing, I don't really have anything bad to say. I think they're cool. Maybe not for me. They might be for you. That's up for you to decide. But if you're on the fence or thinking about swinging it, I'd say give them a try. always, let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you hated it, give it a dislike. And if you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That's just about all for now, so stay safe, and I'll see you later.